Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Welcome back to another episode of Whiskey and Wrestling. Wait, that's not us.
Try again.
Welcome back to another episode of Silence. Wait, no,
nope,
that's not us.
Nope,
either.
You got one more chance or you're dead.
Welcome back to Travelers on the Omnibus.
There
You live another day.
A field trip through nerd and pop culture.
There we go.
My name is Ethan Skinner. And apparently I'm the only one here with a sentient mind. I guess I'm doing the solo this time. Okay, so a little bit of what's been going on. My body's in pain, y'all. Whoever's listening to me, I've been going to the gym with a buddy of mine. Absolute leg pains all over. I don't want to get out of bed when I wake up. Been playing some more video games, some Spyro here and there, and I've also picked up Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask with the Nintendo Switch 64 Emulator. I just started. I haven't really gotten far into it. I just turned into a Deku kid, so I'm hopefully I'm going to enjoy this. You can find me at Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, I believe. That is Saga, for those of you that want to know. You could email me directly at travelersontheomnibus@gmail.com. So the topic for tonight is going to be a movie review, okay? And it is a 1980s movie. It is going to be... do I really need to say the movie title?
I was waiting for... We were just going to call this the TLDR version of the show. And it was going to be like 3 minutes and you were going to fucking knock it out. And then you had to reference that I was here even though I spoke up a little bit in the first bit.
Yeah.
So I'm James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody Kite.
So I already went through what I've been going...
You can go in a little bit more in depth when we get back to you on that.
Okay. Jody, let's go with you first.
I haven't been doing a whole lot lately. I've been listening to a lot of Brit pop. For anybody who doesn't know what that means,
it's from Sri Lanka.
It's yeah, right.
It's just like American pop, except they go "oi" and in it a whole bunch.
Not really, but it kind of started.
Hey, you listen to your kind of music, and I'll listen to my kind of music.
That's true. It started with like bands like Jesus and Mary Chain and Pulp and Blur, and it's pretty good stuff. Yeah. That's like early 2000s Blur. That's after he formed the Gorillaz, and they didn't have another Gorillaz album for 10 years, so they had to go back to Blur.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've been doing is listening to the music. So.
Oh wow.
Nice. Do you have any recommendations for the people, like specifically?
Listen to listen to the album that has Common People on it by Pulp. I can't remember the name of the album right now, but that's like one of their best albums.
Since you mentioned Gorillaz, by the time this comes out, their new album will have been out.
Hell yeah.
Cracker Island. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Gorillaz is
everything that I've heard from it so far is really good.
Yeah, Gorillaz is really awesome.
I fucking love the Gorillaz. Yeah.
Brady, you mentioned the Gorillaz, so you get to go next.
Oh, okay. Is that how this works?
Sure. Why
that's
not?
the flow chart that we made.
We gotta get that in the internal document.
Okay. I haven't been doing a whole lot. My daughter and I finished up Boy Meets World, and she started watching Girl Meets World, which now there's a lot of like in things that I picked up, but I didn't realize that the finale, the 2-part finale of Boy Meets World is basically a clip show.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, this is a little disappointing. That was one of those that I always watched a lot when I was younger and had a lot of nostalgia for, and I'm glad that she started watching it. Also took a trip to Gamers and Geeks in Mobile and picked up 2 of the Warcry war bands, the Jade Obelisk and the Hunters of Huanchi, and put those together. I was looking up because they have some of the figures have like a couple of different figurations. And I was trying to see like what is the better thing to make of these. I was like looking up things, and I found some lists for the Huanchi. They're like chameleon skinks who have like blowpipes. But there's one model that you can create that you can make in with the sprues called Huanchi's Claw. And some of the lists I saw, guess how many of those that you would that they were saying they were going to put in that.
Oh, as far as like how many you could build out of the sprues?
No. How many they had in their list?
How many claws of one? Let's see. And this is Games Workshop that would be making these, or just random?
Yeah, this is just somebody was like, this is the list that I put together.
I'd say about if out of 10 lists, about 4 to 5 out of every 10 lists.
Well, they all have them, but like the ones that I found were putting like 6 of those in there, and it's like, what the fuck? I'm not buying 6 of these warband to put those in there. I thought that was a little bit ridiculous, but I'll probably end up getting multiples of each of those to make a little bit more competitive list. But I don't want to do like allies and shit with that, because for me, Warcry isn't that serious.
I think for Games Workshop, it usually isn't that serious either. Like, it's for everyone who doesn't know, Warcry is Warhammer Age of Sigmar's skirmish battles, where you can use your models from the main game and translate them down. And then they also have specific war bands that you use in Warcry that have typically, or rather I should say typically, have rules to be able to field them in the Age of Sigmar game.
Yeah. So it's like Kill Team.
It's basically Kill Team to Age of Sigmar.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Except it's actually simpler than Kill. Kill Team.
Okay.
Yeah. That kind of mirrors, like 40K is more complex than Age of Sigmar. Warcry is less complicated than Kill Team.
The rules are less esoteric, I think.
That's very
than
true.
Kill Team. But yeah, that's all that I've really been doing. So the only other thing that I have is my last pick for Black History Month.
All right,
We're going with another movie. And I ended on a weird one. I ended up on a doozy. We're going to be talking about a weird movie, so I'm going to be talking about a weird movie in this one. So this is a movie called Sorry to Bother You. This was written and directed by Boots Riley, who is a member of a rap group called The Coop. If you have ever watched Superbad, towards the end when Bill Hader's when the cops crash the party, Bill Hader's cop is dancing to a song talking about don't trust the police. That's The Coop that sings that song. And in fact, I started listening to them after that. They're a pretty good rap group. They're very, very political, so keep that in mind. But he made a concept album of Sorry to Bother You, and that album is actually kind of the soundtrack of the movie. And then he wrote the movie and got it made. So it stars Lakeith Stanfield, who's one of my favorite actors, like going right now. Like I said earlier when we were watching some commercials about Jonathan Majors, Lakeith Stanfield is exactly up there. If I see him in a movie, I want to watch that movie more,
right?
Because he always brings it. But he stars in it, and he plays Cassius Green, who is this kind of deadbeat guy who's trying to find a job. And so he gets a job at this telemarketing website. Oh, well, not website, it's telemarketing place. And he starts, and at first he's doing like really poorly. And then the guy next to him, who is played by Danny Glover, he's not like a big role, but it's kind of a small role. He tells him, hey, you're talking to these people all wrong. You have to talk to them like you're white, like you're like you don't have a care in the world, like you're doing them a favor by it. And so he starts using a white voice, and he literally it's David Cross is the voice of him. So when he uses his white voice, he shifts to David Cross, and he starts being like really, really good at it. And this continues and gets more and more absurd, and he like finds that there's like an upper echelon of like telemarketers who like start using who like aren't just like selling encyclopedias, they're selling like armies and shit, like high big things. And it gets super weird towards the end. I'm not going to spoil what happens in that at the end there, but like it gets, if you think you know where it's going, you are absolutely wrong. I promise you will never guess what the kind of twist and what kind of the real stuff going on with this is. It's a really funny movie. It's really weird and bizarre. There's kind of this heightened, not even heightened reality, but this like surrealness, almost like if you've ever watched the show Atlanta. It's kind of a surreal world like that. Like there's literally you will see like advertisements and like news segments on this company that you basically sign, if you have a whole lot of debt, you basically sign yourself into slavery with them, and they pay off your debt, but you just have to like live and work for them forever. Like it's weird shit like that. But it's very smart. It's just a really, really funny, weird movie. It also has Tessa Thompson in it.
This is going to sound strange. Is this the movie with coked out Army Hammer?
Yes.
Okay.
Warning with that, you will have to watch a little bit of Army Hammer if you don't want to watch a cannibal. So
I don't know what that.
No. Your reaction to that was pure and genuine. May I, so that
Sure.
so that your voice doesn't have to be the one?
Sure.
So in a previous relationship, it suggested that Army Hammer wanted to eat his girlfriend.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
For real, not for play.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Let me put that out there,
Allegedly.
because I don't have anything, but I also don't want it sued out of me.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There's some weird shit about Army Hammer. So
I
like,
don't know anything
back
about
to your-
whoever that is.
back
he's
to
the guy who played the Lone Ranger in the really shitty
where
reboot.
Johnny Depp played Tonto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Back to your regularly scheduled Brady Davis.
So yeah, if you want something that's like super weird and it's actually like it's phenomenal that like this is the guy's first direct, because like it's really well directed, like the writing is very good. You can tell that this was like a passion project of this guy, like he really cared about this project, and it shows. Everybody is like given their top, form. What's his name? Terry Crews is in it in a small role. Like a lot of people are just in it. In like Steve Wynn, I think is how you pronounce his last name. The guy who was Glenn on.
That's Steve Wynn. Yeah. Or Yun. I think it's Steve Yun.
I can't remember. But I apologize, Steve, if I mispronounce your name. I don't apologize to Army Hammer if I mispronounce his name, because I actually care what Steve.
I always think
thinks.
about when I hear his name is baking soda.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
basically
what I
what
thought
it is. Exactly.
immediately.
Yeah. You thought like a
Um,
baking soda man was
yeah.
like doing bad things.
But yeah,
no
check
point of
that out if you are so inclined, and that's gonna be the last of my picks for Black History Month.
Besides Lone Ranger in this random movie, what else has Army Hammer?
He was in a movie with Timothy Chalamet. It's,
Call
I
Me
think,
by Your Name.
By Me Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name. He's been in some bigger movies lately.
Was he the Winklevoss?
He was the
twins?
Winklevoss twins in Social Network.
Yeah.
The Man from Uncle.
The Man from Uncle.
Death on the Nile.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's on
he
Death
was
on the
the
Nile, so
he was in that. Death on the Nile was but it was meh.
Yeah, I thought you liked it a little bit more than
It was meh. It's because
I remember you saying that you were glad Gal Gadot died. Glad Gadot dead. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, I was glad
beatbox
that
there
she
for a second.
died because she was really, really bad. I've come to the conclusion that
She's not very good.
She's not a great actress, unfortunately. I wanted her to be, but yeah, he's been in a lot of things. His career has taken a bit of a dip since the cannibalism thing came out.
So.
But
Allegedly.
allegedly. Well, it came out like but it is an alleged cannibal thing.
He's texted that he wants to eat somebody.
Uh-huh.
That does not mean he's eaten somebody. So we have to. It's a very
I think
thin
that's
line.
not the only allegations, but I'm not going to get into it.
Right, all of it's allegedly right now. I don't want to get sued.
Hey, Jay,
I've
what
got
have you been
50.
doing real quick?
Not getting sued. That's what I've
Yeah.
been doing for the last 15 years. Before that, I was getting sued. I don't know. My timeline gets weirder every time I think about it. No, just three things. There was one other thing. Little prep work for not this episode, but the next episode we're going to be doing. Spoilers, we'll let you know a little bit about that at the end of this episode. Number 2 is doing Minecraft stuff. I always like to do like 3 separate things when I'm in Minecraft because it changes the kind of action I'm doing. Because if you're just mining rocks for 4 hours, you will find me with a bullet wound in my head. Don't commit suicide, folks, but you know what that feeling is when it's just a slow grind.
Or just crafting the whole time.
Or just crafting the whole time, or
Yeah, you have to
trying
switch
to
it
build a
up.
sky pool.
Yeah.
Finish the sky pool.
I saw that.
The main pool
Yeah.
portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
Replaced all of the all of the dirt with glass. Had a nice little fountain running into it, so it's running pretty well. You can access it by basically taking the effective water elevator up, so it goes right into the bottom of the pool. So that's pretty cool. Been harvesting all of the spruce trees that I put up to make room to start building mega mushrooms. So again, the mushroom population is good, considerably went up on the server. Very, very happy about that. And I was doing one other thing, and I can't think of it. I guess just regular mining.
I found
stuff.
a bigger cavern.
That was a big cavern already.
Yeah.
What? All of it's underground.
He's just saying he found a bigger one.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there. If our friend Austin's the one who runs the realm, if gentlemen right now, would you consider playing Minecraft with us? No. Okay, just straight up no from there. Okay.
I am not a big Minecraft fan.
Okay. If you don't want to elaborate, that's cool. I'm just throwing the question
No, it's
out
just
there.
I tend to find myself like getting bored with those types of games, like
I get you.
Minecraft, The Sims.
Again, it's one of the reasons
Civilization.
why
it's not an okay experience. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like I said, I'm doing 3 separate things to change up the activity that I'm doing the entire time.
Yeah, like I have problem with like games that are less structured when it comes to things like the Fallout games where it's like that, that's enough to like when you have no structure whatsoever, it's just do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like that is just like, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes and I am not going to.
I tend to like, especially with Fallout 4, I tended to stick to mainly just doing mission stuff, and like any of the extra stuff, they're like, yeah, build up your village and do all this. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I just want to kill stuff
like
and
Fallout
do the
3
missions.
after a while. But it's the same thing with any kind of thing that like I need more structure in a video game.
It's one of the reasons why I refuse to play it. Like I like Minecraft. I honestly, it's probably up there as far as games I like. It's the Lego thing where it's like I just sit down and put the Lego together. But with Lego, you finish the thing and it's done. Minecraft is open-ended. You can just keep going with it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely co-sign you with like games like, like you mentioned Fallout. I would say Fallout 3 and past that, because Fallout 1 and 2 are more like tactical, like almost RPGs.
Isometric, top-down RPG.
But games like I despise Morrowind. The Elder Scrolls, which is the Elder Scrolls 3. I despise that game because it's like this should be an MMO because there's all of this content. I'm never going to do all of it. And I just feel like it's a complete waste. And anytime the side missions are drastically more important than the main mission in a game, why am I playing this game?
I did something that you would think is like impossible. I beat Skyrim.
I don't doubt.
With like there are two like ongoing things that never stop. Which it doesn't really affect anything, but besides that, I did everything you could do in the game.
Like I'll say that I came as close as I can with Breath of the Wild. I got all 900 Korok seeds. 900 Korok seeds because I went into J mode of like, oh no, I've challenged myself to this, and now
What are there 1,000 of them?
900.
Oh, there's exactly 900.
900 Korok seeds.
Okay, so you got all those.
And you get a little poop hat for it.
Oh, of course you do.
It's great.
Congratulations.
I feel the same way when it comes to like wanting to like 100% a game. Whenever Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, I beat the game and then I sat down like, okay, I'm gonna find every Pokemon. I'm gonna catch them. I'm gonna complete the dex. And then with the new game, I'm going to find 999 gold coins just to evolve this one dude.
Right. And when I said congratulations, I wasn't being like sarcastic. I was saying that's what you pretty much got when you did all that, and they give you like a little hat.
I'll accept sarcasm on that and zero sarcasm.
I wasn't being sarcastic.
That's why most I have a problem with actually like finishing RPGs, because they'll especially like Japanese RPGs, you'll get to a point where it's like, okay, it's less linear now. You can kind of do whatever you want. You can do all the side missions. It's like, well, shit. Now I have to do all of these side missions, or I have to get all of their really powerful weapons, or I have to, do this, and this. That's why it took me like I got to a point in like say Final Fantasy X, and then I stopped playing it, and then I finally went back and was like, I'm not gonna I tried to get some of the weapons all completely unlocked, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna do these. So let me just power level and do. and and finish this game so I can actually beat it.
I typically like enjoy tactical RPGs over traditional Japanese RPGs is because you have a finite amount of things you can do, and the story can sometimes be just as good. I mean, Tactics Ogre has a great story to it.
Yeah, and I love like Japanese RPGs and stuff like that.
Oh, I do too.
But I rarely. But the amount that I finished versus the amount that I've started is
I get that.
There's a big difference in those columns, simply because of my nature.
There you go. My third thing in a similar vein with Brady is I put together some more of my Thunderstrike Brotherhood that I got, and I was when I got done with the piece I was doing, I was fucking furious. I was literally seething. So, 10. I'll do these 10. It's going to probably take me like 4 or 5 hours in order to do this. I was over at my buddy John's house. He was putting together his Death Guard Terminators for 40K, which is pretty cool. So we had doing the same thing. That again, putting these things together alone, having a friend in the room, like you're all putting together, you can talk about stuff. You can you can divert yourself away from
the
The reason why I got mad, Brady. So I put together 10 Liberators. It's the main battle line choice for the Stormcast Eternals. Guess how many pieces each of those were?
Is this the ones with the spears?
It's the ones with the they have the Warhammer in one hand and the shield in the other.
Okay. Ooh, I don't know. 4 pieces?
4 pieces. Only 4 pieces. Meanwhile, over in Idaneth country, they're like there's these smaller or like 10 things a piece, and they're all small, and you put them together. And if you're putting together their eels, which for the longest time was the only way you could play them competitively and have a battle line, so you were forced into kind of a build for them. But it's gotten better since. But still, the thing I hated about the eels, it took half an hour to basically hold it in place. So they're eels, so they're swimming around. So they're elevated, so they're like a flying unit like in other games. So in order to get these things up there, you have a stem. And the way they do their stems, they used to do a stem straight up, and then it was just basically just a little bit smaller at the top. You would drill a hole in the model, plunk it down on there. Perfectly stable, don't have to glue anything. If you want to glue them, you can, but more than likely what's going to end up happening is that stem is going to break off because something's going to jostle and the whole thing's going to snap there. They now have a curved one. And it doesn't, instead of having like a tapered off top to it, it's a like a little like divot has been cut into it. And then they have a little plastic nub on the thing, and it's supposed to fit perfectly. And it does fit perfectly until you add glue. And then that shit gets fucking ridiculous. Haywo, the YouTuber and Twitch streamer Haywo has said, and I think for the next ones because I went away from the Idaneth after that, because if putting this thing together is a fucking pain in my fucking ass, I don't want to paint. I don't want to look at it anymore. He said to have them swimming like up against obstacles and stuff like that. So like instead of like you get some like ruins or stuff, and then you do a little divot in there and you put them in there, and it looks like, oh look, they're swimming along there. Makes perfect sense. I 100% agree with him on there. Half an hour of holding the thing in place until the glue caught perfect, because I would do it for like 5 minutes, set it aside, just walk away, come back, sit down, and whatever I did to sit down caused that whole thing to fall apart. So the last one I did was like half an hour of putting together. So when I put 10 of these motherfucking Stormcast Eternals together in less than an hour, because it was like bit bop bop, just going together, I was furious. I was furious as how convenient it was for me. What the fuck is wrong with my brain? What the fuck? So,
the Age of Sigmar stuff, the Games Workshop stuff that I've had is to me, like comparatively, because I put together so much stuff from Privateer Press with War Machine and Hordes and stuff like that,
specifically Scorn stuff,
and that stuff can be a nightmare because it's a lot of it's pewter models. Like you don't get for the character models, they're mostly pewter models, and that is a nightmare to put together because you will hold something for 30 minutes and then be like, it has to be to where I can, and then you will take your hand away and then the arm will go with it, and it's like, what the fuck, man?
Not only will the arm go with it, it'll go with you. It's more glued to your finger.
It's more glued to your finger. Like it is so.
So the worst shit, in my opinion, is when you have plastic base models with accoutrements that are pewter, because That shit, fuck what anyone says. That shit will not stick together except we have like adhesive fucking cement.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's very, very frustrating.
This goes back to early 2000s. The first time I dipped my toe in. I'm putting together Dark Angels, and I like to have like kind of. I like sit down fireline Space Marines. You have to come to like the fast ones. I'm gonna reach out and grab everything. I'm gonna shoot everything else down. And the Dark Angels really worked for that because they had a rule where if they got spooked, they just shot at everything. It was fucking great. I had a las cannon. The las cannon's metal is pewter. The Space Marine's plastic, and where they join at the shoulders doesn't really match. So I ended up having to go with this like. For lack of a better term, it's an epoxy. I think it was like a carpenter's epoxy. I poured it onto this spot, and then took a vice grip and screwed that down and left it there for 2 days. That's the only thing that worked.
Jesus.
Now, could something lesser have worked? Probably. I will 100%. Any hobbyists that are listening to this right now, if you knew the solution, please go back in time to me so this portion of the podcast never has to air.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, that was the lengths I felt I had to go to get this model. And this is just one dude in a model count that was like 50 some odd.
Yeah, it can be very, very frustrating. Like you know, like you're not supposed to use, especially with like pewter models, like you're not supposed to use a whole lot of glue or whatever. The less glue, actually, the better. But like, you just get kind of crazy. You're just like, let me just add more fucking glue to this shit.
More glue has to be the fucking
More glue
answer.
has to work, even though I know that it doesn't. It's gonna work.
I think that's how Chaos Space Marines came about. Like someone was trying to put together Space Marines, and there was just too much glue, and it looked like tentacles and shit. It's like we should just make that our own army, and boom, Chaos Space Marines were born. It was a nightmare. Now the boy. Otherwise known as Ethan, you went over the stuff you've been doing. Now I want to ask you about Majora's Mask.
Okay, Majora's Mask.
Are you liking the horror elements so far?
That was the very first thing that like came to mind. Is like, this is not a Legend of Zelda. This is a horror game. Like I played this during October when all the spooky stuff is going around for Halloween. This
is where horror started to creep into because I will say this: there's a great section of like this, particularly Majora's Mask. When the Mask Salesman, like, it's one of the reasons why I created one of the best and greatest creepypastas of all time, which is Ben Drowned. It's just amazing, just kind of creepy stuff that's going on in here. I love the merchant because he seems like he's helpful, but you feel like there's something way more sinister about him.
Oh no, I immediately don't trust him.
Yeah, it's like this is going to be fun. Like the body transformation. There's body horror in a Zelda game with this. It's fantastic.
Now, keep in mind, this is my very first playthrough of this game.
Yeah,
I'm going in completely blind.
Oh yeah. I love the Deku Scrub. I like being able to fly for a little bit after you like shoot out of basically a flower cannon. Yes. So that's pretty fun.
Majora's Mask is probably my favorite Legend of Zelda game.
I have not played it, so I was.
We need to alleviate that problem.
Yeah. That's what sparked the shooting Legend of Zelda.
Well, the whole going back to that, like I didn't have an N64 when the game came out, and like I was gonna get like the 3DS version. That had Majora, or whichever. I think there was a Majora's Mask version.
They were both. They were both separate cards.
I was gonna get one. I could never fucking get a hold of one. They were just hard to fucking find, so I never got to play the game.
Yeah. I can't. Both NC like Ocarina of Time for Forever was my number one game of the whole time. I don't begrudge anyone that likes Majora's Mask more because it's a different focus.
Yeah,
it's a very personal story. As opposed to the standard, we have to save everyone Ocarina of Time.
Again, this is Save the Princess game.
Yeah, this is one way you're still saving everybody, but you're doing this kind of weirdly introspective way. Like it's very weird to say that about a game that you turn into a giant rock monster and bowl people over, but it's there, and just you kind of the histories of these people that you learn about.
They were giving more character to the characters, right?
I like the ones that are different. Like I also really and for me this is part of nostalgia because this is the first one that I ever played. I think. Or that I remember playing was Link's Awakening.
Awakening,
and that's a different one.
Have you played A Link Between Worlds, the sequel?
No.
Oh, that's a really good one. That played with the whole the third Zelda. It's not the. I literally in my stupid brain put Faces of Evil, and that's the fucking CDI games. A Link to the Past.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, God, for alleviating my idiocy.
That's the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3DS sequel to it, like direct sequel, called
Okay.
a Link Between Worlds. I thought it took everything that was built up in that original game.
Is that the one where you go between 2D and 3D? Is that the gimmick of that one?
Well, yeah, it's where like you can become a painting and walk along the wall.
Yeah, I remember that one. I just never played. There's a lot of it because they just like when the 3DS or when the DS came out, like they just kept pumping out like different Legend of Zelda games, and you just couldn't keep. I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, because the DS ones were, I think, what
I remember the Spirit Tracks was
Spirit
one.
Tracks
Spirit
was the
Tracks,
second
the
one.
Minish Cap.
Minish Cap was on Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy
Oh,
Advance.
it was.
Yeah.
Okay. They all run together.
And you could play it on your DS. So yeah, it was
They all run together.
Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah,
Phantom Hourglass. I
yeah.
remember that one. I never played that one.
Yeah, but no, I if you like different takes on Zelda, A Link Between Worlds is well worth your time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Are you ready to turn into a giant rock monster? I'm not talking about Link. I'm talking about you. Bring out the mutagen. Jody, bring out the mutagen.
What? I don't like this.
Yes.
Master Splinter.
Treader.
Here's the mutagen. It's Zap's honey mustard pretzel sticks.
I actually tried these a few weeks ago. They're not bad.
They're not bad. Okay.
They're not bad.
I'm not big on.
I love honey mustard.
is not my favorite.
No.
I don't really like
I'm not a honey
but
mustard
I
guy.
tried those, and those are pretty good.
You can thank the Love Me Tender chicken sandwich from Coupe de Ville, rest in peace, for my love of honey mustard. And so like if you like honey mustard, it's the honeyest mustardest honey mustard I've had in a while. So if you don't like that, stay far fucking away.
Zapp's usually goes pretty hard on the flavoring.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
There's
if it's branded New Orleans, like it's going to be heavy
Yeah.
on the flavor.
They also do voodoo gumbo, like their voodoo gumbo chips.
Oh,
they do
nice.
Voodoo gumbo style. Like this was the only thing I could find over at the supermarket, and I've really dug these.
Yeah, I saw a couple of like I would
pretzel's
like to
good.
try the sticks because I've tried that other brand of like pretzel sticks that are similar to that, and I like those, but they didn't have any flavors in Zaps that I wanted, so I decided not to.
Good stuff.
Jody, I know I already stated this, but where can the people find us?
They can find us on Spotify, Anchor, Google Play, and Apple Music. Saga.
And as always, you can, if you have any feedback for us, you can always email us at travelersontheomnibus@gmail.com. 1L. Again, Travelers on the Omnibus.
Or directly message us on Spotify.
On Spotify.
Or take part in our polls. The last one we put up, there was no option for a question. So I don't know if they have gotten rid of that service or whatever, but do engage in the polls so we can figure out what you like. The last poll was on what two-player game that we mentioned interested you more. So bear in mind.
Jay, do we have any feedback from the people?
We have one piece of feedback this week. It is from our friend and Codpast Polyg.
Were you trying to say like cadre?
Is my face drooping?
Like
legit, I'm
do you
literally
smell toast?
all the time.
Oranges?
Oranges?
You smell
No.
oranges?
No, I smell honey mustard.
Satsumas?
I can't remember which side is the one that you have to worry about if you can't feel it.
It's one or the other.
It's definitely left or right. I just can't remember.
No.
It's one of those.
Whenever I feel a pain in that side, I just hope it's the other one.
No, what I mean is it can be either. It can be either depending on where the clot and or leak in your brain is.
Oh my god.
So no, you basically you're just looking if one side of your face is drooping over the other one. If it is, then you go to the next one, which is arms, and then speak, and then
death.
and then fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, time. The last one is time, which has nothing to do with the symptoms. It's just get on the phone and call somebody because they're having a
Now
stroke.
that we're done with the stroke segment of the show.
Yeah. Also, so we're gonna. So this is how you check your prostate as well, guys.
Okay. All right. If you're Jody, bend over.
If your left ass cheek is drooping, your butt might be having a stroke.
Butt strokes.
We're gonna get a woman on here to talk about breast exams and all that. We're gonna keep y'all healthy. Because
strangely enough, we're only going to be examining Brady's tits to see if he has cancer there.
One way or another, we're an educational podcast, y'all.
We're now an educational, explicit podcast.
We're trying to get all those tags.
Okay,
on.
actually,
fucking learn.
Okay, So sidebar real quick. So 9th grade health class, which we still had those in Mississippi back then. God forbid.
Yeah.
I had health class in 9th grade.
Really, how do you put a bandage on?
Heavy air quotes on health.
Benny Lyles was our teacher, and like, so one of the things they brought in was like aging, and it's like it just showed. We eventually shows like people like getting older and like, oh, I can't move, and then it just showed like a old man and old woman naked just standing in front of us.
Oh my god!
And it was like, it's like, and Mr. Lyles was like, this is what you got to look forward to.
Jesus.
And it was like, okay, that's fucked up. And then they showed everybody, the boys and girls included, the breast exam video.
Oh, that's not appropriate.
Hold on. No. Silence. You don't know how inappropriate it is yet. So we're watching this. It's like, oh, this is gonna be a good day. And it's like, so the woman's naked, lying back, saxophone music playing.
What the fuck?
Slow jazz saxophone
It wasn't
music.
inappropriate until then.
And I'm just like, I'm 15 years old and I'm battling between what the fuck, this is the best day ever.
This is welcome to your Scandinavian educational sex film.
I think
it's got to be fucking European.
Yeah, when we did that, I don't know if they watched the breast exam video because they separated us because boys and girls can't learn the same sex stuff.
I would like to take back a statement. I did not take health classes.
There you go.
Feedback, though.
What is this feedback?
So
from who?
From our friend and fellow podcaster Jared Hubbard of the wonderful Silence Your Cell Phones podcast. Thanks for the shout out, James McCarthy. It's funny because I just started playing Weiss Schwartz again. So Weiss Schwartz is back in again, Birmingham.
Weiss Schwartz is still a thing, apparently.
A bigger pool from which to play with as far as people goes.
Yep.
It died a long time ago down here.
Oh yeah.
I when it was like the hot topic, I actually bought a booster box of Weiss Schwartz.
If you like anime art,
they never had an anime that I was interested in.
Well,
so I was never.
I bought wasn't even an anime. It was based off of the Vocaloid, if you know what that means. Hatsune Miku.
Sure.
Hold on. I grant you a full minute. Go.
Okay. So back in the early aughts, somewhere around like mid to late aughts.
54 seconds, motherfucker.
Okay. This production company, much like Ableton and things like that or whatever, made a vocal application you could put over music. So you could, make arrangements, and the AI would like sing the arrangements in the notes that you put it into. And the cover art for all these boxes had different pictures of different anime chicks they made up just for promotional reasons. And one of them took off and became a thing. And had virtual tours and everything like that. It was fucking crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He has used all of the time allotted
Hatsune
and has a little
Miku.
extra.
What
Hatsune
the fuck?
Miku.
There you go.
I think she's still a thing over there.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, that like Japanese virtual reality pop stars. Yeah, that is a thing.
They actually,
But the fact that they made a Weiss Schwartz set of that is like really weird.
Yeah.
it is.
But no, for like culturally
They got that in America, but they couldn't get the Neon Genesis Evangelion set that was in Japan. Like, that's what pisses me off. I would have actually played that fucking game if that came out in America.
Overrated. Anyway, we're going to move on.
Yes.
Yes, you can believe that all you want.
Because Brady and I are going to punch each other in the throat if we keep going down this road. We just are.
Hey. Animosity is only for me and Brady, not
Excuse
not
you?
any other people.
Excuse you?
Well, Jay has a very low opinion of anime, so like I'm not going to.
That is true.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
like he has such a low, like anything that except for like two things that I'm gonna, he would like.
What are those two
probably
things, Brady?
Cowboy Bebop and Akira.
No, Akira is not there.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought that was one of the ones that you liked.
No,
Ghost in the Shell?
I respect Akira. Also, not Ghost in the Shell. I respect Akira. I respect Ghost in the Shell for what they represent. The stories bore the shit out of me.
Oh, okay.
Guts, the god.
Oh yeah,
Berserk.
Yeah, Berserk. Okay.
Fucking, I'm going to the
Berserk
doctor
is
to fucking check my
exceptional.
brain.
I
Yeah.
will say that the two that you like are exceptional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, because I mean, for me, they transcend the art.
For some reason, I always think
They
of
do,
that more as a manga than a.
Oh yeah,
than
because
an
the
anime
manga's
even.
gone on. It's now. It seems to be that it's going to be going on past its creator's death.
I think they're wrapping up the story.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
even
trying to
then,
wrap
they're
it up.
still
Yeah,
putting
right.
stuff out after
Right,
he's passed
yeah.
away,
Right.
based off of his notes, based off of where it was going to go under his ideas.
What sucks about Berserk is the fact that the anime didn't catch on in Japan when it came out because it was too mature for the audience it was aimed for at the time. And by the time it caught on popularity here, over there, it had gone too far. It was like 5 years, 3 to 5 years.
And then meanwhile, over this side of the water, a lot of people were like, the action scenes suck because it's just basically these watercolors and they just pan over. And I'm like, that's some of the most beautiful watercolor I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, they transcend the art. They
Berserk
go beyond
is
their art
really
form.
fucking good.
So the main topic of the night or day or whenever you're listening to us, we're going to be reviewing the 1981 film Heavy Metal, directed by Gerald Potterton. And from what I'm seeing, it's an anthology movie where it's like based on multiple short stories, if I'm getting that correctly.
That's typically what an anthology is.
Yes,
but
yes.
there we go.
Tied together by one through line.
I like how you kind of made that sound like you haven't watched the movie still.
I'm still recovering from the movie.
Fair enough.
You're
enough.
recovering from a horrible
correction.
avenue into CrossFit and then having seen this movie.
I'm recovering from many things. Okay.
Yes,
There you go.
yes.
You were recovering while you were watching this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of your reactions made it worth watching this movie.
Your jaw was on the floor for the first 15 minutes. Like your face never moved. I literally thought you had freeze framed into another reality.
We all watched this movie. We watched this with the Whiskey and Wrestling crew. I think it was just Jason.
No, it was just
It was just Jason.
It was just Jason.
And your future wife.
and my lovely girlfriend.
Oh God, we should have.
And
If Caitlin would have watched that would have been so much fun.
We have to do another viewing of this.
and
We have to.
We have to find a way to have this play at their wedding.
Oh, I've got to be the DJ at their wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's be
Just
great.
the heavy metal soundtrack.
So let's start sketching out the plans for this.
Okay, so we bring in my 55-inch high def television.
Yes. Mhm.
And I've got the Blu-ray, and so it upscales. So, oh my God, it's gonna be upscaled into 4K.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
man.
animated titties all over
there
the
you go.
screen.
Oh yeah.
spoilers: there's titties in the movie.
Yeah, there is. There is too.
Just a little.
This ain't your mama's animation.
Unless it was coonskin, and then no. No.
This ain't your racist uncle's animation.
That would definitely be coonskin.
Yuppies.
Ethan, you can take this back over
don't,
whenever you want.
I don't really know if I want to.
Don't unless you have like a VPN. Don't look up pictures of coonskin because you're probably going to get put on a list somewhere.
Not probably.
We've
you
made
will.
that joke before. You're already on that list. You got
Oh, we're
girls
already
there.
on this. We're Jay and I are in a messaging chat with our good friend Eddie. So
Yes.
we're definitely on a list.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about a non-Ralph Bakshi movie.
Yeah, let's talk about
Like
heavy
heavy metal.
Yeah.
Like heavy metal.
So the one thing that ties all of these anthologies together is this like mysterious like green orb or meteorite called the Loch-Nor. And the opening scene of the movie is literally a space shuttle letting a convertible out of its like loading bay or something like that with an astronaut driving it.
Yes.
And like,
If you wondered why Elon Musk launched a convertible with a spaceman into space, this is the reason why.
Yes.
he watched heavy metal.
He's a genius among men and such.
And we see this vehicle like crash into Earth. It starts flaring.
Not
up.
crash. It lands. It lands like it's supposed to do this.
Yeah, and then he pulls a lever for the parachute to open, and the parachute just
after
opens
it lands.
after it
He
landed.
lands.
Now, there's enough realism, though, because there's entry. You know, there's...
Yeah.
You see,
Like,
Yeah.
you see the entry
Yes.
point.
It gets hot.
Yeah, he's got to use the windshield wipers to get all the soot off the windshield.
Yeah.
And then he just drives off into the middle of the country to like
The middle of the desert,
I
sir.
don't like the way you made
It's
that.
the
hand
desert,
movement.
but then there's also cornfields.
There are cornfields.
this astronaut. He drives off into the middle of the country / desert or
Cornfield.
It's hard to
cornfield.
tell.
It's like
it
a
starts
canyon,
in
goes
desert
to
and
desert and the
then
cornfield.
immediately cuts to cornfields.
I don't know if you can tell. There's
And then
a
it's like
lot
a farmhouse.
that's going on in this movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
in the
one
first
thing.
50 seconds.
Now you may be asking, Why is this astronaut in a convertible? How is he interested? Stop asking questions. You're thinking about this way too fucking much.
Ethan, let me just say, did you think this character was going to be a main character in the movie?
Slightly, yes, absolutely. And like a lot of things.
What happened when he got into the house?
Oh, his daughter like runs down the stairs like, "Dad, how was work?" And he's like, "Oh, it was fine, honey. I brought something from work for you."
Well, she's like, "What did you bring me?"
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, come over here and see it."
Yeah.
Here,
he opens this briefcase,
the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
And the Lochner, the mysterious green meteorite, shows up, and he touches it, and then he's just vaporized.
Yeah.
Yeah, he melts.
Disintegrates.
I don't think he touches anything. I think he just melts.
Yeah, I think
You might be thinking of
later on
when you touch the lock.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
The amount of disintegrations
Yeah.
the first 10
Yeah.
minutes is severely high.
There's quite a few
And so
disintegrations.
the daughter is yelling and screaming, and the Lochner starts speaking to the girl.
Yeah.
I am the sum of all evils.
And then it starts going into the different
Yeah, this is basically we're watching this green orb aggressively tell a little girl stories about itself. Like this is all it is.
Yeah.
He's like cornered the little girl, and it's just listen to my story.
I'm going to kill you, but first,
Yeah,
we
but
have
first
these
I'm going to tell you all
Yeah.
of these stories.
Yeah. It's this
in
cloud,
literary
it's
terms,
this cloud chasing meteorite.
this is what we call a framing device. And like all of the rest of the story, it makes no goddamn sense. No goddamn sense.
Continue, Ethan.
So the first story it goes into is called Hairy Canyon. I don't know if they tell the name.
No,
of the
they
stories.
don't. You just have
I'm
to.
using Wikipedia to figure out these story names.
Yes.
We're doomed.
Yeah.
And so it's
I guess a little bit of background. This is like Heavy Metal was a
we
magazine.
didn't really go into that.
Was a magazine that was y'all Jody and Jay will probably know way more about it than I will, but it's a magazine that started back in the day, and they
Late
have like
70s.
comics and stuff like that. in it.
Yeah, it was a magazine sized anthology series basically where different artists and writers from fantasy and sci-fi would submit stories, and they would put these different stories, and some of them would continue on through the weeks or every other month or whatever, and then sometimes they'd be a one and done kind of story.
It started over in France under the name Metal Hurlant, and then it was brought over here as Heavy Metal. The first, I want to say, year or two of Heavy Metal was just reprintings of stories from Metal Hurlant, just translated. And then later on, they started creating their own stories.
I
as well.
said like Harry Canyon is like based off of Mobius's
Yes.
artwork.
Yeah, and something I want to breach this with Brady here. So Harry Canyon is a New York City cab driver.
Yeah.
He's a very no nonsense, very
I did some research on this.
very built into the sci-fi world. And one of his like guttural reactions is, "Oh, they did. People who saw The Fifth Element didn't watch this thing." And then we actually talked a little bit about it. A lot of the artwork in this is based off of Mobius's work, which is where I believe Luc Besson.
I did some research on this. If you watch this and then you've watched The Fifth Element, you're gonna get a lot of like connections with this first story. Luc Besson was like heavily influenced by Metal Hurlant making this. He started with the idea for Fifth Element when he was like 16, and he eventually actually brought on Mobius and another guy from Metal Hurlant to be like production designers and to like artists for this. The people who like owned Heavy Metal like tried to sue him actually, but like it was dismissed because he had these people on the so a lot of things as he was going on like changed in, like he became a cab driver. Like in the original, like Corbin Dallas wasn't a cab driver. He became a cab driver because he liked Mobius's drawings and stuff like this from of like New York City and stuff like that.
All right.
So he was heavily influenced by this stuff. So that's why this feels the bare bones of this. Like there's a lot that he takes from
This specific story
this
in the
this
whole
specific
movie.
story. Yeah, in the whole movie. You're gonna watch this first story and you're gonna be like, oh, there's a lot from all the way to the design of like the cops and shit. Like like he took like, and it's because he brought these because he was so influenced by them that he brought them on to be production designers and to artists and shit to like mock up shit for this. So that's why the design follows so close in kind of some of the base bare bones of the plot match up so close. But it definitely goes into a different place with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into kind of the meat of the story. So what happens, Ethan?
So Harry, he's going about his day, getting mugged by cab halos, him disintegrating them and taking their
people
guns.
attempting to mug him.
Yeah.
No one. It's weird because no one ever really threatens. Like they threaten him, but Harry is always like on top of everything, except maybe one time.
Yeah.
One hit of a button and the backseat gets disintegrated.
Yeah, just the people. The
people
backseat.
in the backseat. Yeah.
And then he just and this has happened more than often because he takes the guy's gun they try to stick him up with. He opens up the glove compartment, and there's just like a mace. A grenade falls out.
Yeah.
It's just like this has happened to him many times before.
Now that disintegration ray is a Chekhov's gun because you will see it again.
Yes.
And so he goes about his business day. We then cut to this
Museum opening.
At the Met.
Yes.
At like of all things, like New York Metropolitan. Yeah.
The Loch Nara exhibition.
Yeah.
Which we're only 11 years from now.
Jesus Christ.
If you if you remember the date, we're like 11 years off from.
Oh, good Lord. It's going to be post-apocalyptic more than likely than it's going to be that kind of futuristic going at our rate. One of the first things you see in this particular vignette, not vignette, this story is this dig crew, and they're going in and they're digging stuff up, and they find the Lochnar, and somebody touches it and they disintegrate. So in this story that this is and then you see this guy walk up to it, and it turns out he's like a archaeologist or professional professor or some shit. So yeah, go on. Sorry.
So the archaeologist is walking down a staircase with his daughter when.
No, he just comes out the door shot to death, and he just falls down the stairs.
I thought they were walking together.
Yeah. And then what is possibly the ugliest man in the entire world comes out after him.
Venusian.
Yeah, he has 87 chins.
Yes.
And cheeks.
Yeah.
And so she runs away from him into Harry's taxi.
Yeah.
So Harry drives off.
Well, you have like a little bit of an inner monologue from Harry where he's like, I don't think this is a good idea, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. She's hot, so
yeah.
He tries taking her to the police station.
John Candy, the chief at the time.
because she passes out or something, and he like carries her over his shoulder.
Yeah, and like you kind of get little like whiffs of RoboCop and the fact that the cops are there, but they're so ineffectual.
Yeah, the cops are like, if you want me to look into this, it's going to be this much money.
It's $500 a day for an investigation.
Yeah, $1,000 a day, and then $1,000 if we actually catch the guy. And all this other shit.
So he's like, oh, well, this is useless.
Here's $1. It's like, well, I forget his tongue. See if I give a fuck. It's not the exact line. There's whores in the station, and they're immediately propositioning Harry.
Apparently, Harry is well known. He must take them all over places.
Yeah,
and shit like
Harry tells him to kiss his ass, and she'll do it for $20.
Yeah.
So it's like we know these are prostitutes.
If you want to
establish that,
describe Harry in like one phrase, it's nonplussed. Like nothing. He does not get fazed by anything whatsoever.
He gets 1+.
He's also not a looker either. He's a rough looking dude.
Yeah, he's not a handsome guy.
Like it's noir as fuck.
Yeah, it really
very
is. Noir.
Also, it got a little chuckle out of me. Like these two guys are carrying this alien. It's like, oh, I'm an American citizen. I forgot my paper somewhere. And just Harry just goes, goddamn illegal aliens.
Yeah, that's a great joke.
That got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, that's always been one of my favorite jokes.
Was the alien Eugene Levy?
It could have been.
It could have been. So real quick, if you know anything about Second City, John Candy, Joe Flaherty, Eugene Levy, Harold Ramis. There's got to be at least one other one in there. Oh, these were all Second City alumni, and most of them were the Canadian Second City alumni folks. So it's more Toronto, less Chicago. But you're going to find them a lot, especially John Candy in the early stuff.
John Candy's all in this movie.
Yeah.
This was produced by Ivan Reitman, previously of Animal House, and in the future will go on to direct and produce Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And so Harry eventually reluctantly takes her back to his
apartment. She's still passed out at this point, so he's like, I don't know what else to do with her. So he puts her on the couch, and she wakes up, and where am I?
Yeah.
They start talking.
Harry uses an obscene amount of mayonnaise on a sandwich.
He
Yeah,
does.
it was really gross.
It was that was like half a jar.
He's
of
so
mayonnaise.
he's so lackadaisical. He's like, you could stay here for a while. You could sleep on the sofa. There's beer in the fridge and whatever. And then he just lays down in his bed.
Yeah. I think this is where she tells him like kind of the plot basically,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
she tells him like, oh, my dad was the professor and he found this thing and the people who killed him are trying to get it, but he hid it and I'm the only one who knows where it's
And
at.
Harry could care less,
Yeah,
really.
Harry does not give a shit.
He's like, I'm going to go to bed. And then she just walks into the bedroom and she's like, hey, can I sleep with
Can
you?
I sleep with you?
And
Yeah.
she just takes her clothes off.
He hasn't even had time to answer, and she's already naked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Apparently, there's some animal magnitude with Harry.
And so for a song, real quick, this entire scene from the start of the opening of the door to the end where they're having sex, the entire scene is set to Journey's Open Arms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heavy metal, baby.
Yeah, there's some weird there's some weird choices of music in this. It goes back and forth between this between the soundtrack, which is weird, but then also like the score is weird. There's a lot of
I will allow them. The score is avant-garde.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
They're trying to out Mobius.
Yeah.
We thought Mr. Bungle was jumping genres.
No, we
Well,
didn't. No, we didn't. That was only you.
I thought that as well.
Oh. You're having the same thoughts as Brady Davis, and Brady Davis is having the same thoughts as you.
No, we just agreed on one fact.
That's
The
how it
universe
starts.
is going to collapse on
Yes,
itself.
it's going to connect together, and then soon there will. We're reaching the one point. We are the Higgs boson particle.
So
after
anyway,
they had sex,
yeah.
it's the next
After they
morning.
bang,
Yeah, she has this great idea. She's like, you know what? I'll just want to sell it. Why don't you sell the lot?
Well, no, she bang and dash.
Yeah.
She's bang and dash.
Oh,
And-
yeah, she's not there in the morning.
yeah.
That's right.
He gets awoken by two police officers.
Oh yeah, that's right. John
Both of-
Candy again.
Both of them, I think, voiced by John
Yeah.
Candy.
yes,
Where's the girl?
barely trying to make it two different voices.
Yeah.
What girl? You brought a girl to the police station yesterday. Where is she? I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, after the cops attempt to intimidate Harry, the girl I think the girl was just on his balcony. I'm pretty sure.
No. Like this. Now I know this story messed with your brain so bad because you're transposing scenes here. Let me take you there. So we're at the cab again. He's like, okay, what the hell's going on? And then like all of a sudden, like Venusian dude. And they try, and he doesn't vaporize them. He could have.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He just goes, I don't think you should vaporize me till you listen.
Oh,
like
yeah.
literally, this man is winded every breath. Like he's like breathless, breathing in. This is how fat this.
Describe this guy corpulent. That's one word that he is.
Yes, mega corpulent.
Yeah.
I would go even further. You, the girl. I represent people who want to buy a Lochnar. But there's not a lot of time left, so you better find her and then he just like the crudest thing you can do. He puts a cigar out on fucking Harry's
Right.
fucking
And then
like,
conveniently, our little robot just passes by and gives Harry a message.
Yeah.
Meet female
Oh,
acquaintance
yeah.
at Statue of Liberty.
yeah, which is just the weirdest way to go. Like that was written by AI.
Yeah.
ChatGPT got involved
Yeah.
with that shit. I mean, it's just the way it was.
Now I'm starting to remember.
There we
Yeah.
go. And then that's when he gets chased by the Venusians dudes again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then,
Right.
and so he has to break out the tail laser
Yeah.
out of his fucking tail light and just nukes these guys.
Yeah.
Just- And so now they're on the torch of the Statue of Liberty,
Right.
which kind of looks like a balcony.
Yeah.
Ethan, take it back over.
I mean, I'm just saying. I have a reason
no.
for mixing things up.
Yes, I know. It's called mind fucking.
Yeah.
So she's got the Lochnar in a case, right?
She
Yeah.
has the lockdown in the case, and they're talking about it. Harry's like, "Why don't you sell it, and then we can get away, just the two of us." And then the girl's like, "Okay." They meet.
Yeah.
That's sort of what was said.
That's pretty much it. No,
I
that's
mean,
pretty much it.
basically,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at first it was very important that these people don't get it, and now, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck it.
I'll go anywhere with you,
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah, she's
Fuck
like,
it. We've only got a few more minutes in this
Yeah, if
in
the
this
vignette
particular
had like
story.
if the vignette had like 5 more minutes, maybe there. But yeah,
She-
no, we need to get through
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they meet
The Venusians.
The Venusians in some construction yard.
Oh no, it's on a bridge. It's on a bridge that's under construction. If our friend Eddie was here, he could probably tell us exactly what bridge that is because
it's not the Brooklyn Bridge. It's the other one that gets mistaken for the Brooklyn.
I think it's the Washington Bridge.
I think it might be the Washington Bridge.
If we got that wrong,
Eddie Camper, if you ever listen to the podcast, tell us what bridge that was.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, then the
trade-off
happens.
The trade-off happens.
The trade-off happens.
The girl,
everything's fine.
Yeah,
she gets into the back seat.
The weird guy, the ugly guy, opens it up and touches it, and then immediately disintegrates
after they've backed off.
Yeah, and then that's
they drive off into the sunset.
And so the girl's in the back seat with this briefcase of money.
Yeah,
Harry's driving.
Harry says, "Hey, we've made it."
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
I'd like to, Harry, but I've made other plans.
And then she puts a gun to his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, and like even then, like with the first dude that he vaporized, he's like, it's like it wasn't even a thought. It was like,
right.
It was like the pedal opens up to the button where he stamps on it and hits the thing. It's like, babe, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Okay. And then boom, and he just disintegrates her too.
And then you hear an inner monologue where he goes, "Pretty but stupid."
Yeah.
Or something to that
Pretty
effect.
but dumb.
But dumb. Yeah.
And he's like, well, now I got a good.
I'll mark it up as a 2-day fare with a hell of a tip.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines from the movie.
And that's the first. That's the first story.
The first 8 minutes.
That's the first 8 minutes. You've had 5 disintegrations. You've had sex scenes, and it was like 70s style grooming. I'll let you figure out what that means.
Now, Jesus. Now, if you thought that's as horny as this could get, wait.
Yeah.
You're sadly mistaken.
First thing that you've seen the limits of some of my power.
Because you've kind of seen as a story that's going to make the most amount of sense, and that is only an average amount of horniness compared to some of these, compared to what happens next.
Yeah, more specifically, the next story, which is called Den.
Which we have a young John Candy.
Yeah, a young voiced John Candy.
A young voiced John Candy.
It's like, I saw a green meteorite land in the field, and they normally burn up, but this one didn't.
Yeah, this nerdy kid sees a fucking meteorite and digs it up.
I'm going to experiment on it.
I must conduct science.
I was reading in the Faraday papers how electricity can be taken in by a lightning storm.
Jesus Christ.
I hope I get one tonight.
Yeah, so...
And then, like, the oldest lightning storm effect in all of Hollywood starts just going off 800 times.
Yeah, they didn't have the budget to get the really good lightning sounds, so they had to
I like that sound. It's like,
they had to get the ones that everybody could get.
Yeah,
it's a Wilhelm scream of
the
lightning.
Wilhelm scream of lightning strikes.
I prefer the other scream, the one that goes, that I like that.
I'm always partial to the one that you hear in the old Disney cartoons.
That's a good one. That's a good one too.
That's one of my favorites.
There we go. So Ethan, what happens?
So the lightning hits this lightning rod. Everything. This kid's science equipment starts lighting up. And
the Lochnar is also, he put it on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Because the meteorite, but it's the Lochnar.
Yeah, it's the Lochnar.
And so when the lightning strike hits the rod, what happens?
Also, if you're keeping track that he could touch the Lochnar here.
It wasn't glowing.
That's a good point.
There's no consistency
Maybe
with the rules of
Lochnar
any
was
of
just
this.
knocked out from
Maybe the Lochnar was inside us all along.
Yeah.
Maybe the Lochnar was the friends we made along the way.
Well, it wasn't like Ethan
maybe
said,
we are the Lochnar.
Yeah, I think that's what Brady was saying. But
possibly, I don't know.
He tried to add, and he did. He added a good point to that, and then you shitted it on him.
Well, somebody's got to do it throughout the night. There's a quota we have to meet, guys.
Hold on. No, wait a minute. So I just had a hand gesture directed toward me. We have a live studio audience right now. Bianca's in the building, and then upon us talking about shitting on Ethan, she gave us a big thumbs up.
Yeah.
So
we got an
I love you
amen.
too, Bianca. I love you too. So the Lochnar starts glowing.
Yes.
As soon as the lightning hits.
Weird shit happens. Weird shit happens.
And then we see this weird
acid trip.
Acid trip, basically.
Dan.
First of many acid trips.
We have all took drugs, and we all.
It's very trippy, even for the time period.
Yeah, This part and one other part in the movie,
Oh, yeah.
I think, were designed to be
Yeah.
part of the Pink Floyd laser light show.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
At planetariums.
Yeah, so this nerdy ass kid gets flung through a portal, and as he's going through the portal, lightning and everything turns him
Space
into a
and
big
time.
buff, naked dude, like super buff, like super buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out where he is and how did
When he
get-
lands.
Yeah,
how
when
did
he lands.
Yeah, like
Well, he
goes from
lands.
the
He lands in
strong-
front of a ceremonial fucking.
Yeah, like on a pyramid,
He,
and
he
there's
literally
and then,
like there's a giant like Sphinx style
yeah,
like
he's
idol.
like on a sphinx or an idol or a pyramid
The front of a
thing.
yes cover.
Yeah. And his first, yes,
Yeah.
and his first notion is, oh, I don't want to go around with my dork hanging out. It's like, what?
Yeah,
My first reaction would be, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
yeah. He's taking this very,
Very well.
Lackadaisical.
Den is a very logical young
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
He realizes through reasoning and science everything is okay.
Yeah, so he tears off a strip to cover his massive dong, but not his ass. His ass is
his-
hanging out this entire time. Can't tear off a strip big enough for both. He can only one, and his massive hog has to be covered.
He sees all these dudes in like druid robes and
Yeah.
shit, like around
what
this giant pond of.
What are they doing down there? It's like,
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
We don't find that out exactly.
Yeah.
It's a sacrifice to Ulatek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very Cthulhu mythos, very like Elder Spawn, very cosmic horror.
Being
They,
led by this priestess,
right.
who has a weird mask, a cape, and
no
nothing
bra.
else, and nothing else on. Just titties all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're trying to sacrifice this chick who is also completely fucking naked.
They
No,
throw.
she has a string.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the
and
string.
it's green colored.
Forgive me for not remembering the one pencil drawing of a string that is covering.
You're
her
giving a lot
bottom.
of credit to one pencil.
Yes, this is true.
I love the line that Dan
Like a
says.
micron pen.
Yeah,
they
like a
use.
micron .03.
They
yeah.
throw her in the pool, and Dan goes, "Why'd they want to do that?"
Yeah, we don't really ever understand the mechanics of how
Again, a
this
very
ritual is supposed
scientific
to work.
mind. He has questions, he seeks answers, and by seeking answers, he dives in after the girl.
Yeah.
Swims a very long
Yeah,
time
so she's
underwater.
tied up with her arms and her legs.
Yeah.
And he like hooks his head in between her legs, so she's just being drug along while he's swimming.
Yeah.
And apparently he's like super powerful now and can hold his breath for a really
Yeah,
long
he
time.
even makes an inner monologue, like a comment on, like, I
he
would
finds
normally
a
be dead
hole-
by now.
He finds a hole in the pool and swims through that and just keeps swimming. This goes on for like a minute, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
And she should definitely be dead.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's
She should have
explained
died.
with him, but like how she survives, we never know.
no,
If you're
hold
wondering
on,
what
hold
is this nice young lady's name, we don't ever know.
Hold on, wait a minute. Actually, we do.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
She does
yeah,
say her name.
Yeah,
because she.
but hold on. They also explain how she survives. Shut up! There we go. There we go. That's how it's explained. There you go. Go forward.
So when they start talking,
So after they've reached safety away from the
Temple of
sacrificing,
Ulatek.
cult of Ulatek,
I have saved you from this cult that was going to do something vaguely gestures.
she was a sacrifice to Ulatek. Duh.
Yeah.
she reveals that she is also from Earth.
Oh,
and her name is
yeah.
Catherine.
Yeah, her name's
Catherine. She's from the
Catherine.
British Isles or
Or
something.
Queensland.
Queensland.
The
Yeah,
British
she has a
colony
British
of,
accent.
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar.
Yeah.
She's from Gibraltar.
We're assuming that she was a weird, ugly nerd too.
And even though
No. She was also a hot supermodel.
Oh, okay.
even
It
though
has to be. Yeah.
even though Dan, that's his, what his name was when he was on Earth, is very intelligent. He go, I too am from Earth.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's
And then what do? They have sex.
Well, she's
go,
like, she's
"Well,
so
we're-"
grateful that he saved her.
It's not.
this is
she's
definitely
like,
the '80s.
Yeah, it's definitely 80s where, like, in movies, women want to just devour men sexually, and dudes are like,
She's like,
do we really want to do this? And
I
like,
can't
yeah.
offer you anything, but if there's any part of me that pleases you,
Why
in
do
her-
you know?
in her defense-
Why do you know that?
In her defense, Den is very buff and his is again remind you hanging massive dong.
that's true.
So
That is true.
yeah.
I'm going to try and say that as much as possible. I'm painting a picture, sir. I'm painting a picture.
As soon as they start
Painting
making
a
out,
picture made of just tube steaks and lies. That's all.
Broad strokes, sir. Broad strokes.
very broad. As soon as they start making out, immediately they're interrupted.
Yeah, they're immediately interrupted by a whole bunch of
Yeah, they start on the sex montage and then they get interrupted.
and a bunch of non-human humanoids. It's like, come with us.
They're
It's
like
like,
pointing spears.
Rejects
Who are
didn't,
these assholes?
Rejects who didn't make it into Thundercats.
Rejects from all of the other stuff that's in heavy metal get into this one this way.
They look like extras from Ralph Bakshi's Wizards.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, yes.
This is true.
Yes, knockout right there.
This is true.
Ralph Bakshi did this part of the movie. No. Ethan, continue to
So what
enlighten us.
happens?
So the minions take them to this separate
Jesus Christ, we can't go into this much detail for every single one of these.
We can't.
Well,
Some of them are way shorter.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So these minions, that's how I'm gonna call them.
Orcish looking dudes.
They take this.
They're like
them to
orcs
this
slash lizardmen slash
Apes.
Catmen.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Some of them are catmen, some of them are like ape men, some are like it's all like
Some type
like,
of men.
Yeah.
like
Generic fantasy cover from 1977.
Non-human humanoids,
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
They take them to the totally different temple where they're introduced to this guy named Ard, who wants the. Who
good
also
on you
wants-
for knowing his name because
I looked it up.
Hey,
missed all
Wikipedia,
that.
Wikipedia.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even want to put that much effort into
Neither
it.
me nor Jody
Yeah.
needed that, but we've seen this movie way too much.
Ard.
And
Yeah.
he says, "I want the Lochno."
But he doesn't say it like that. I want the Lochnar.
yes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very.
I want to stress something just in case. He's portrayed as basically is an effeminate gay man. However, that's not the part that gets under my skin. The part that gets under my skin is that he's the laziest cult leader
Yeah.
of all
Yes.
time. It's like,
Yeah.
I'd like the Lochnar. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Kill
It's like-
him. Kill him.
Yeah, they try to
this
get him to
guy
kill him.
obviously like he was figuring when he did all of his lines he was like my check's gonna bounce, I'm not gonna put this much effort into it.
Yeah.
like he is so lackadaisical in his delivery.
And he's like, "Bring me the Lochno."
No. He
No,
orders his
people to kill
goons
him.
to kill him,
At
to
which-
kill Den.
and they fail miserably. And then he gets a machine gun. One out of every 10 people in this vignette is armed with like full on fucking
Spears
machine guns.
and machine
Yes.
guns.
Everything else is spear, swords, and crossbows.
Yeah.
It's like what
It's
the
like-
fuck?
Yeah.
And then he tries to kill Ard.
He tries to shoot him,
And
and all he ends up doing is gluing gunshot wounds to his cell.
Yeah.
To the cell that had his where he was drawn. It was just basically they put another cell with like three.
And he
three
responds to the
wounds on it.
gunshot with a very catty like, "You're gonna have to try better than that."
Yeah.
And then over a course of several
Now, if you're wondering, does it ever get explained as to why he can do this? Shut up.
You don't need
we're
to
gonna
know.
keep saying shut up a lot in this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say. So it's like, now that you've killed everyone I've got, why don't you go with Keith? It sounds like
I can't
it's
remember
not
this.
Keith
But
David.
I
Right.
cannot
But the
be
guy's
bothered to
voice
learn
sounds
these
like so like
motherfuckers'
Keith
names.
David.
The ape dude. Yeah.
And so they get together
Yeah.
and they go back over to the
So
temple.
they go, sure, I'll do this.
Right.
And they're going in the catacombs of the temple, and they go, wait a minute, the others are afraid. Why are they afraid? There's a great beast with like 6-inch teeth. Oh, excuse me, 16-inch teeth.
And then
as-
immediately,
And then as soon as the last syllable of that word comes out, giant
there it is.
80-eyed crocodile eats somebody
It's
and they
like
all
blue,
run.
oh, there it is.
With like, and you're like, oh shit, okay.
Immediate payoff.
For our
As soon as you start thinking, well, I wonder if I'm gonna see this. Oh shit, there it is.
For all of our Warhammer friends, it's like they took a Seraphon and mutated him with Zinch and
Yeah.
just go for it. Just go for it. So they all get separated, and then Den ends up in front of the
Queen.
in front of the Queen. And then she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, she's like, "Kill him," and then she goes, "Wait a
don't
minute."
kill him. And then they do it in her Valentine's
so
Day.
another sex
The
montage.
funny thing too, her goons are like, "Oh, not again."
Not again.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
she's basically in the honeymoon suite
Right.
of this temple.
I'll call
like,
it the Valentine's Day suite because it just is. It's
it's
just
got like a heart shaped bed and shit.
It's
like
pink heart shaped. It's like, what the fuck is this?
She goes, "Please me, and I may not kill you."
and he's like, sure.
Then he's inner monologue.
Yeah.
Twice in one day.
Yeah. So confirmed he
I
did get
couldn't
his
get
dick
one
wet.
chick like this on Earth.
He got his dick wet at least a little bit in that first one.
Right.
And so as Den and the Queen are having sex,
Or attempting to.
That was the most matter-of-fact way you could have done that.
I mean, we got to
how
get
else
through
should I
this
say
shit.
it, Jay? How else should I say
no, I mean, like,
we got to get through
I expect,
this.
we do have to get through this, but it's just like, this is semi-torture for you going back to it, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it?
I'm trying to recall things.
Things,
If
yeah.
it wasn't for Wikipedia and us, you'd be a
Yes.
complete blank
Yeah,
right now.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be true.
I can hit the keynotes,
Yeah,
okay?
these are images that go at you. They don't really like explain the story.
Yeah.
Now I can appreciate that,
No,
but
no,
it was
no,
like
no.
like
Nothing is explained.
Yeah, matter of factly though, no, it is the way to go about it. But you were the most matter of factly, like you were like Richard Attenborough, like doing Planet Earth just
Yeah.
there. It's like it was amazing.
So the Queen gets real pissed at Den.
Yeah,
Because
Right.
the Lochnar is stolen.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, you dare try and make love to me, and then you're
While he's banging the queen,
Right.
the other people are stealing the
Lochnar.
Lochnar, which is on a scepter. We forgot to
right
talk about
because you
that.
can't touch it directly most of the time.
It's glowing in this.
Maybe
in this
who knows?
world.
In the
Yeah.
It's
flip a
glowing
coin in this
world.
one. Just look at you trying to find logic in this. You are.
Hey, I'm trying my best here, man.
My favorite scene in this whole segment is when Erd and the Queen are fighting over the Lochnar, and he goes, "It's my Lochnar, you stupid bitch."
Yeah, this ends up with them like fighting. Like no, he the dude the 8-man guy takes the Lochnar back to the
Erd.
and they find that out. And he's doing the exact same ritual that they found in the beginning.
Yeah,
so we
Ulatek,
find out.
yeah.
So we find out. Shock of shocks. This dude's a bad guy.
Right.
He just wants to do the same shit that the queen does.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the good guys? Who's the bad guys? Who fucking knows? So it ends up with a big fight, and the queen's men and Ard's men are all like slap fighting each other.
I love the insect cavalry.
Oh
The-
yeah,
the
there's
dragonfly-
insect cavalry. That is cool.
The dragonfly cavalry.
Well, it pretty much
Sweet.
ends with like Den strapping a chain on a spear and throwing it at the
Den uses the Faraday principle again.
Yeah.
at the Lochnar, and lightning strikes the chain and teleports.
It seems like
Ard.
they're getting close to
and
the ending of
Queen
the ritual because like
somewhere.
the pool starts like shooting out.
It starts
and you-
morphing into
and
like an
maybe
actual thing.
possibly into some sort of shape that could be some eldritch abomination that they're trying to summon. Is that really the thing that they're trying to summon, or is this just what happens when? Who fucking knows? Quit asking questions.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut
exactly.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, he uses the Faraday principle to do the same shit that made him come here. While the Queen and Ard are fighting over this, and like lightning strikes and hits the Lochnar with the lightning, and apparently sends them
Back to Earth.
Back to Earth.
Boy, won't Mom be surprised?
He
Yeah.
literally says that. And
Yeah.
then he flies off on a grasshopper, not grasshopper,
With the hot
dragonfly.
chick
Fly.
who is
Yeah,
still
dragon-
butt ass naked except for a string.
She goes,
Yeah.
Den, you could have ruled all of whatever the name of this
Neverwhere.
planet. Yeah.
Neverwhere.
He goes,
Yeah, because the weird animal people
Yeah.
needed a
Yeah,
leader.
And he's
yeah,
like,
the
nah.
weird, everyone bleeding animal
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
He's like, nah,
Everyone-
I'm good, dog.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're just gonna fly off and have adventures.
She's like,
Yeah.
with the Lochnar, you could have returned Earth. On Earth, I'm nobody, but here I'm Den.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's pretty much where we end that.
even though some reject me, my power grows.
Yeah,
And,
cut back to the Lochnar aggressively
Telling stories.
and I'm really not
Aggressively
even
mean-mugging.
selling this properly. Like aggressively, this girl is cowering in a corner while he
Mortified.
tells her these stories.
Yes.
And so
Yeah,
it immediately cuts to the next story.
yeah, we don't have really time for this framing device.
Yeah.
We're running out of time.
I'll take this one real quick then. Hanover Fist and the story of Captain Stern. Captain Stern is on galactic trial for galactic crimes such as murder, grand larceny, rape, and one moving violation.
Is that
Yeah.
37 counts of grand
37,
larceny.
yeah, 37. Like they're all like 10 plus counts, no matter what they are. And it's like, don't worry. Like his, I do love the like his attorney's like, you plead guilty, and at least when they kill you, they'll bury you in a nondescript grave so they don't violate you. Like it's like that's how evil Captain Stern
This
is.
begins with like the Lochnar shooting through the
Shooting
like,
through space.
yeah, shooting through space and hitting this space station and then shrinking.
Yeah, sure.
And then
into this
Hanover
marble
Fist
size.
picks it
Yeah, a
up.
gentleman by the name of Hanover Fist, who is a
Looks like a janitor.
is a character witness for Captain Stern. And Stern's like, he's like, don't worry, Oliver, I got a angle. And he keeps saying this over and over again.
I've got an angle.
So they start questioning Hanover Fist on the stand, and Hanover is like, "Oh, Captain Stern wouldn't hurt a fly." It gave me serious Norman Bates vibes.
Oh yeah,
like it just like Norman Bates' mother's where she's trying to like just kind of be kind of subtle about it.
Quick inject. Eugene Levy voiced Captain Stone.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
There you
wow, that's a good
didn't even
job.
catch
For
that.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
That's
at
a
all.
really good
Or
character
got
voice
an
he did.
angle. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good there. And it's like this timid, meek person, but then the Lochnar is there, and he starts like going spazzy crazy. Goes, it's like he'd never do anything wrong unless you count the drug ring at the kindergarten. It's like, and everyone's like, no, he used to sell drugs dressed as a nun.
Yeah.
And just like then he starts talking about all these just horrible fucking things, and he starts hulking up.
Yeah.
It's like, and then finally he's like, no, we need to fucking kill Stern because killing's too good for him. Hanging's too good for him. Burning's too good for him. And then he just turns into like this 12-foot tall, roided out version of Hanover, and he starts running after Stern, and everybody abdicates, and everybody's, oh God, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on?
And then the music kicks in.
And I don't think it gets said enough. Captain Stern has this adorable fucking like Pokemon little one eyeball.
Looks like a music note.
He looked, and he's trying to help him, and he's just like he doesn't even talk, like he like points him out to doors, and Hanover's just beating the shit out of people, and but he is hitting the space station that this court is in so hard, whole towers of it are crumbling into it.
Yeah, most of the segment of the anthology is just that chase between Hanover Fist and Stern.
And then he's trapped, he's got him at a dead end. Like he thinks he's gotten away from him, but no, you can hear him down there. And it goes, and then like you see Stern go, I've been meaning to give this to you for a while, Hanover, like reaching in his pocket, and he counts out all the money he was going to pay him to like get him. It's 35,000 Zulaks. Here you go.
Well,
Hanover.
I mean, like when he reaches into his pocket to get the money out, like it's the first and only time after Hanover Fist is bulked up, they looks kind of concerned about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like he stops for a second, you know.
Yeah, and then as everything's fine, then it's like thanks, boss. Oh, and another thing, Hanover. Goodbye, Hanover. And he hits the thing for the airlock and just jettisons Hanover out into space.
And you see his hand with holding the marble-sized Lochnar.
Which leads into your favorite section, which I think, sir, the B-52 section. Or the B-17. Excuse me. Take that one over.
So the B-17, it's implied that this is happening during World War II. But
I think this is the best animated set.
Oh, it's really good. It's so atmospheric, the animation in this. It's kind of like there's a lot of dark hues to everything that's happening,
and also the sound.
And you mentioned the that there's a glowing blue hatch in the 17.
There's this whole glowing blue inside, and it's more like how you'd think like a nighttime fly would look like, especially when you have like bullet holes and gaps.
And so you have a whole crew in there, probably about like a dozen guys or whatever. You have the captain and the co-pilot, and they're getting riddled with enemy gunfire from left and right or whatever. And he's like, all right, Skip, I'm going to go and check and see how everything is. It's not good.
After everything else is shot up. Like one of the first like true moments of like horror in the action is like it's outside the plane, and you have the gunnery the gunnery just underneath the captain's chair, and you watch that entire thing just get blown out, and like there's nobody there. It's like
he opens the co-pilot opens the door, and this what used to be a soldier just like falls out, and his guts go everywhere. And it's like really graphic, and
he just basically sees that everybody else is like horribly dead, like shot to shit.
While he's back there checking out the rest of the cabin, although I would just, if it was me, I'd be like, all right, everybody's dead.
Which is historically accurate. Like all of like the being gunners in a B-52 Super Fortress was one of the most dangerous jobs that you could be.
While he's back there, the Lochnar flies into the back of the 17 and smashes into it, and it jostles everybody being the pilot and the co-pilot. And I think the co-pilot like kind of falls off to the side and kind of knocks his head for a little minute, and he gets like air tanks or something.
Those aren't air tanks. Those are bombs.
Oh, okay. So bombs land on top of him.
None of them blow up.
Yeah.
He kind of in a little bit he's going to wish they had.
Yeah. So it starts pulsating from the back of the 17, and us as viewers, you kind of have a good feeling about what's happening here. Mm-hmm. So Brady, go ahead and take it over for me. If you want.
So he just starts. He went through the plane and was checking things, and he kind of goes back, and then he gets to one hatch where one of the gunners was at, and he slowly opens it up, and then a hand reaches through, and the Lochnar made this guy a zombie, and he looks back, and all the other guys who died, they're zombies. So he runs to the cabin area.
Oh no! He got murdered by the dude in the gunner side. Like the captain.
The
co-pilot.
The co-pilot.
The
co-pilots gets got.
Yeah. He hears like a noise coming from one of the gun capsules, and then he opens the hatch and gets yanked in.
Yeah, that's when
and then you see his face through the glass on the outside of the B-17 as he gets thrown around by the zombie inside of it.
And then that glass gets coated in blood.
Oh
man!
The transformation scene's really rad too, where you see it looks like acid like burning off the flesh, and there's bones revealed from the zombies.
Yeah. And then the pilot here's a knock.
Here's a commotion.
And he's like, let me open it. And he opens it up. Zombies.
There's zombies just standing there, like green ooze coming out of like nose cavities and shit.
Yeah, it's super gross and super this
very
again
well
done.
done.
Like some of the animation in here is a little shoddy, but in this segment, like everything is like top notch.
He slams the door shut, and he goes through the hatch of and escapes right when they're breaking the door down.
Yeah.
And then everything's totally okay and nothing bad happens.
Everything is fine
until he hits the ground.
And
sees a whole bunch of other wrecks.
Yeah, he lands in the airport graveyard kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah, and they're apparently all of these crews are zombies, and that's kind of the end of that one.
And we have a nice transition though, because you see the radar. There's a radar kind of like vibe going on with the, and then we get transported to the next scene.
Yeah, which is modern day ? At the Pentagon.
So beautiful and so dangerous.
Yeah,
yes. Ethan, how's this one go?
Opens up with this scientist. He pulls up to the Pentagon. There's multiple cameramen, press.
Yeah.
They're asking the scientist if the research he's doing has any correlation to mutations happening across the country. He says, I think he's like no comment at this time,
pretty much,
and then proceeds to walk inside.
There's a green glow over Nebraska. You want to comment on that? And he just keeps walking.
Yeah. And so he's sitting down at a table with multiple other people talking about this ongoing mutation pandemic. All of a sudden, he sees this.
Well, hold on. Before we jump to that, I do have to say, like, all the politicians are freaking out or whatever, and he like puts his hands on the table and he's like, now there's no real concern we have to worry about aliens. They don't exist.
Yeah, it's like we're the only sentient race. And meanwhile, outside the Pentagon, a spaceship bigger than the moon is just hovering over the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And it looks like a giant smiley face. I have to think that people that were high going into this movie started shitting bricks at this very moment.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and furthermore, I don't believe, and like all this, and then he notices that one of the secretaries is there. She's wearing a brooch that has a green crystal. Oh no, it's the Lochnar.
Yeah. This is very tenuous where the Lochnar is in this one. This is
No, they explain it. Shut up.
I was about to say.
So he sees the Lochnar, and then he just starts losing his damn mind.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty. Yeah, and then
he attacks the woman.
Yeah, just straight up attacks her. And I don't know if he's trying to motorboat her or snort the Lochnar.
Yeah, and while
it's not really established.
While he's like wrestling with this woman, a tube comes down from the spaceship and like starts drilling into the building and drills into the room where they're all in. And then sucks the guy and the girl up and the secretary up into the ship.
And everyone's just like standing there, no noise whatsoever, just watching this happen.
And they basically just go, "Well, that happened," and then that's the end of that.
That's what I would do. I mean, I would be like,
if you're wondering, what are the implications of this? With it, shut up.
Who gives a fuck about Earth now? Let's go into space.
And this is it doesn't take like they fly through a whole bunch of tubes like Futurama style, right? And then they end up like in the ship, and as they land in the ship, the scientist guy, he breaks apart. Oh shit, he was a robot.
I don't think he was I think he was supposed to be a human being, and they didn't have time to put in the blood because he keeps on, I gotta put him back together again. Oh, it's like
I saw he had like circuits
robotic
and shit.
parts.
Was it
He had,
robotic?
parts.
He was a
Okay.
robot.
He was like I think we're supposed to think that like, oh, he was a robot that was planted there by these people.
Oh, okay, see, I took it
for
more
what exactly.
Yeah, I took it as just that, like, we just go around like snatching up people every once in a while, and they just didn't hit the brake on it fast.
Wow.
And,
I
like,
don't think the
snapped
aliens
apart.
really care if people
Yeah.
on Earth
With
know
us,
they
fuck,
exist.
I
I
don't
think they
know.
were just
This
doing
is-
it to fuck with
This
us.
is as ill-defined as some of these stories are. This is the absolute most ill-defined.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell you a sequence of events. They don't make sense.
You know that this is just a bunch of blue-collar robots and aliens going around space doing a job.
Yeah,
You don't know what the job is?
There's a robot with big radar ears.
And John Candy,
and then,
Yeah.
and then there's a
Yeah,
tall,
voiced
skinny.
by-
voiced by John Candy. There's a tall, skinny one who's Harold Ramis, and I think the other one.
The other one is Eugene
Is
Levy, I think.
Eugene
and
Levy.
so
he's
great.
a shorter like yellow alien.
As soon as the robot like hits the floor of the spaceship, like the girl shows up and she's like, "Hey, send me back!" And then like Big Ears robot.
Who's gonna pay my dry cleaning
Yeah,
bill?
Yeah.
Again, I would be like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on here?
John Candy robot like hits a lever, like, "Oh no, destabilization has happened." or
Molecular
some-
destabilization, can't do anything. And like the other guy's like, wait, and like John Candy's robot's like, no, man. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, go
giving
along with this.
Go, it's like, oh yeah, molecular destabilization, can't do it,
Man,
man.
that's just like the robot, dude. First Earth chick we meet in 10 years, and he's gonna get her.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
some shit like that, or whatever.
So apparently, this has happened before.
Yeah,
This is a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
Who knew?
they have many marital affairs.
Yeah.
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 While the pilots are
So the secretary and the robot go off to bang.
Yeah.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
The
Alien cocaine,
aliens
that's all I
leave.
can say.
No.
They leave Earth.
Plutonium
nitrate. Nyborg.
Yeah.
Don't you dare. Like, they
They get
don't do
out-
cheap Earth drugs. They do the hardcore.
They get
Said
out this
alien
reverse
cocaine,
vacuum
okay?
cleaner
It's better-
that
yeah.
instead of sucking things up, blows out humongous lines of what looks like cocaine.
5 pounds of cocaine.
That was more than 5
That
pounds.
was a lot of
Like
that was a lot
lines
of drugs.
that are like
The-
longer
the
than the
width of-
width of your hand.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
and they
okay.
just go all over the area of the ship.
It's okay because their noses are longer than your arm.
Yeah,
And on
one of
their
them has a
heads.
nose that's on top, and one of
Yeah.
them just has a huge nose in the front. And so they just snort this shit
while music plays in the
while
background.
music plays.
Yeah. Now, see, in my opinion, Open Arms would have been more appropriate in this love scene.
Yes.
But they strangely, like, the robot's room is also strangely pink and has a kind of like
Yeah,
sex
we
fuck
cut to
attitude to it.
post-coital embrace. Just like that I used the word
Yeah, I
coital.
know. Yeah, you're rediscovering language you haven't used in forever. It's great.
And
It's the
the
heavy metal
girl's
effect.
going, "Oh, that was so good. I didn't know a robot could be that good." And he basically says like, "Yeah, robots were really good at fucking."
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
And then we cut back to
no,
the
and then he wants to go steady, and
Yeah,
then she's
and then he wants
arguing
to
with
go
She's
him.
like,
steady.
I've got a boyfriend. What he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Yeah, we just fucked. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Also, we're in space.
We're in space.
And then they cut to like, I want
And
a
then we-
Jewish wedding.
No, well, then they
don't
cut
even-
back
They
to-
cut back to the high.
They cut- So apparently they did this just to get high to drive because now they're like in the driver's seat area of the ship.
It makes sense because going through warp is a Pink Floyd laser
Are they
light
even
show.
going through warp or are they just
There's
traveling?
there's the wrecked Starship Enterprise in there. So yes,
Sure,
they're in
I
warp.
missed that part.
That was very quick.
It's very like literally passes by like a second.
like
You have
Jesus
to
one
look
fucking
second
for
Christ,
it.
this fucking
Yeah.
movie.
But when they go to warp, it's like it's all of the fucking things you see when you're high, or so I'm
yeah,
told.
it's just weird, trippy shit.
The docking bay is so huge compared to the spaceship, yet
Yeah.
they still have to smash
They
into.
get- and they
Well,
get
no,
to
hold on.
the-
Now you're jumping.
Oh, shit.
Now we're back at the couple.
Yeah. And so they're like walking out of the ship, but the ship hasn't landed yet. I don't Jesus Christ. But they're talking, and the robot's like, "Hey, marry me." And she's like, "No, I'm not going to marry you. You're a fucking robot." And he's like, "Marry me." "No, I'm not going to marry you. You're a fucking robot." "Marry me." "Well, I want a Jewish wedding." "Okay, let's
They're
have
like,
a Jewish
wedding. It's like, are you circumcised?
And they walk
What is this movie?
and they walk down a ramp like they're leaving the ship, but then
But they're still on the
we
ship.
immediately cut to the ship going into this like space station area.
Yeah.
Cue
Sammy Hagar's
heavy metal. Because that
Down,
song had to
down.
be in this album.
Yes.
Had to be in this movie.
along with Don Felder's heavy metal, which is one of the least metal
Yeah.
songs I've ever.
And
oh
then-
my god!
The fucking aliens like almost crash when they try to land, and then they land, and then that's the end, right? Like there's
Yeah.
not like it's
That's
just
And then
it's
the
just kind
Lochnar
of
is like
That's
that,
it.
and there's the end of.
yeah. and that- so anyway,
Look how evil I am.
look at how evil I
Oh
am.
my! I am the evilest evil that ever evil.
This was one where it had to be just like somebody was like, I really want to put this one in there. And they're
Right.
like, this
I
doesn't.
have to think it was Harold Ramis.
None of this.
Harold Ramis is
this
like,
one doesn't. Well, like whoever was
Harold
making
Ramis
this
was
shit,
like,
they were just like,
I'd like to add a movie.
they were just like,
other thing to
yeah,
this
but
movie.
this one doesn't really fit with the theme of anything. Yeah, but let's put
I
this
want
in
to
here.
add it. I want to add it.
We'll
I
just put the Lochnar on a necklace, and that'll
right.
be it.
I don't
Now-
fucking know. I don't
Now,
fucking know.
For the main event, the longest story in the thing, and more importantly, for the main event for this podcast, Ethan, alone and unaided, described Tarna.
I don't want to do this alone and unaided. I want that. I have things that I want to say.
No, we can add him in there,
right,
but I want to see him alone and unaided on this one.
So Turner, we begin the scene. I want to say this also takes place on a.
Shut up.
Shut up!
You're right. I'm thinking. Never
Yeah,
mind.
exactly. Exactly.
So it opens up with the Lochnar that's the size, like an actual like mountain-sized meteorite is embedded on top of a mountain. We see like a flock of people walking towards the mountain, and then I believe we see this like the Lochnar starts pulsating almost, and then all of a sudden we see all the human-looking people start turning like zombies, turning into zombies or feral beings. They look like they just want to murder things. So they just start running. They start running, and we cut to the city.
I want to interject. It was a sea of like snot that like transformed
Yeah, the
them.
Lochnar blew up the mountain as a
And
volcano.
also, like, not only does it change what they look like, it changes. It like gives them extra like stuff. Like one guy comes out wearing a hat. He wasn't wearing a hat going in. It's like it does weird.
I'm glad the Lochnar decided to give it a fashion.
Yeah, it gave the main guy, the main bad guy that's gonna be in this.
Lochnar
It
eye
gave
for
him
the
a
straight guy.
It
Like,
gave
what the
him a
fuck's
nice
going on?
hat. He got a cool little helmet that he didn't have before. It let him keep his sweet leather red
Jacket.
duster jacket.
Yeah.
With like studs on it. But it was like, to go with this, here's a cool helmet with horns on it.
I'm glad you noticed the helmet.
and a
Yes.
medallion.
Yeah, and a medallion. He didn't have that
Forgive me
beforehand.
for forgetting the medallion.
Apparently, helmets with horns on them and medallions are evil because it makes everything evil. Continue. I apologize.
No, I wanted that interjection. I wanted the fashion statement.
You just don't want to have to do this all by yourself, is what?
Fuck.
Too
No.
bad. So sad. Continue.
Okay, so we jump over to the city that's like barricaded with walls, and we cut to this. We cut to this like a huge like main building. On the inside, we see this like council start discussing about the Lochnar and the evil presence that it has on the planet. And all of a sudden, there's alarms going off that they're coming to invade us. They're coming to invade us. I believe this is like an acid trip. Okay, guys. I want you to get this clear. I'm trying to remember everything. So the city starts getting invaded by the mutant zombie people. They tear down the walls. They bust a huge ass hole in it, and I want to say there's like a central bad guy. That the red jacket.
Yeah,
dude.
the red jacket dude. He's the main bad guy.
Main bad guy. Yes, I'm starting to remember things. He leads the charge to this central building, and they just demolish everyone.
Death to all who oppose us.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So after they've wrecked City Hall, we cut to this woman. She's flying on.
Well, before this, we have the city elders call out for y'all remember the fucking name
Tarna.
Turner.
And so
The
they have
last
to
of
like
the Tarakians.
they have to like chant to get her to come again. And they also talk about the Tarakians. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They talk about them as like a warrior race, and they're the only people who can stop it. And there's one left. And the guy's like, well, are we going to send for him? And he's like, no, it's a her. And so they all like chant this chick's name. Continue.
While
Yeah.
the city's under siege, by the way, Mob Rules is playing in the background.
Yes. Black Sabbath, as led by Ronnie James Dio,
Mm-hmm.
the Mob Rules, which is like one of the best metal songs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So after City Hall is ransacked by the people, we cut to this woman, Turner. She's flying on what I can only describe as a fat pterodactyl.
Yes.
That's yellow, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this one's yellow.
It's a featherless chicken
Yes.
crossed with a pterodactyl.
It's a chocobo.
It is not imposing in the least.
I don't know why, but this one scene gives me Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind vibes, where she's just flying, trying to get to her location.
I can get that.
There's an episode of South Park that spoofed this exact thing.
Like
so
almost the exact same scene.
I think they even changed their animation style for that one part where they showed it was like Cartman dressed as the chick riding on this little pterodactyl thing.
Gotcha. And so we cut to her landing inside of this temple almost, and what we see is kind of like a sphinx at the end on the other side of like a pool.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that this woman does, she gets off her pterodactyl, she strips.
Yeah. She had a robe. She no longer has a robe.
Tarna.
She starts
Even
swimming.
her
Oh God, I
ears.
feel this.
Yeah, what the?
You can feel free to cut that, please.
I will censor it with a new censor word. I will. I give you my word on that. They will never hear what you just said right there.
I won't ever know because I'm not going to listen.
And you're
to this.
yeah.
You should use Tarna.
maybe.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'll use Casablanca.
There you
For
go.
no good goddamn
There you
reason.
go.
Yeah,
She's swimming across the pool. She gets to the other side.
it takes her for like they
It's
go
a
through
long
like
segment.
almost in real time. She fucking swims across this
What she
goddamn
could
pool.
have cut in half with just walking around the pool.
Yeah,
That is true. I went outside to smoke a cigarette during this segment because I've seen this movie several times.
Yeah.
And when I came back inside, she was dressed.
Barely. Like
Yeah.
there was also a long sequence of her luxuriously dressing and
Yes,
all of
calling
this.
her dressed
in-
is
in-
like
in this-
saying
in
putting a
this
sock on is being dressed.
heavy air quotes armor that she
Yeah.
had to put on. Like, think of like
Female fighters require more dexterity than male fighters do,
Yeah.
so they have to have lighter armor.
sure pervert. Yeah, the armor like it's just like a a boob plate.
It's bikini armor.
Boob
It's
plate,
like a couple of strips of leather.
long socks. Like she has like leggings that go up almost to half her thighs, and then boots. So, with like these straps. I brought up that because they brought up that this race of people, this warrior could have been a man. I find it very funny that this could have been a man who had to like the armor. There's no indication that this armor like changes. This is just the armor of these people that when they have to fight a great evil, this is
Yeah.
what they put on.
Like,
so
she got
so the
these
dude would also have to go through this same exact ritual, this
Like-
very sensual ritual that he did, and I find that fucking hilarious.
She got the clothes from a box at the feet of the Sphinx.
A very small box.
Someone deliberately put those clothes there.
Yes.
No matter what,
This is part of a
found
ritual.
This box was going to wear those clothes.
And go one further, because this is a family line, that could have been her dad.
Yeah, that could have been her dad.
It's like, here you go, Tarna. When your time comes, you're going to wear this sexy
This was my original.
ancestral
This is
armor.
the luxurious, sensual ritual that you have to do to put this armor on.
Dad, this seems very, very objectifying.
I'm very uncomfortable with this, Father.
I wore it. It was good enough for me.
You know what he said? Shut up.
Shut up. And she gets a cool golden sword.
That she holds up like she's He-Man or
Yes,
something like
yes.
that.
They totally ripped that shit off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then she gets back on her pterodactyl. She probably walks around the pool to get to the pterodactyl.
Yeah, her hair is not wet at this time, so she did not swim back to get for the pterodactyl.
She goes and visits the council, doesn't she, Ethan?
Or what's left of him.
Yes, back to Ethan.
She follows this murder trail, trying to get to the mutant zombies. That's what I'm going to refer to them from now on.
That's quite all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
And as she's flying, she's following this trail. She gets trapped. Her and her pterodactyls, they get caught in a net. Of all things, a net. And so they're thrown into a pit. And I believe she comes face to face with the big boss, the big bad boss, or the boss throws minions. Into
Sure,
the
I
pits.
can't remember.
He's got her tied up to a contraption, and he's whipping her with her not having.
Yeah.
Bring me my whips.
He took off the boob armor, so apparently that did matter.
Right.
So she is naked.
She was tortured, then she was thrown.
Then she was thrown, and then they just were nice enough to hand her armor back.
and then
to
they
her.
just threw her all her clothes back
and her sword.
and her sword.
Right.
You are dumb people. Like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah, they deserve what they're about to get.
And as her and her mount are trying to like fly away, the zombies like shoot her mount down, the pterodactyl, and it can barely move now.
Yes.
Now she comes face to face with the big bad zombie. That's his.
We
name,
did skip
zombie.
one thing on the way to meet the bad when she was in the bar. The most non-metal song was playing by Devo in the bar.
Yeah, Devo is playing. You're like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh yeah, she goes to a bar to find out where they're
There's
at.
also another thing. The reason why she's able to escape is they're trying to kill her pet pterodactyl bird, and he just pulls out of the way after they try to shoot a ballista at him, and the arrow bolt goes straight into the guy that's trying to hold him down. And so he gets free, flies down. She's managed to put on all of her armor and sword in a much shorter time period.
Yeah, apparently the ritual is optional, or maybe you just have to do it that one time.
And then the bird goes down, gets up. They chase her with 1,000 bat riders.
Yes.
And they finally get one of them hits. I want to say that the worst shots since Stormtroopers, because there was literally 1,000 of those motherfuckers that should have been brought down much faster.
Before we cut to the end, I would like to recant on when the Lochnar hits that mountain and it turns into a volcano, and that green gooey lava shit like coats the entire village of people. When they emerge out of it, it's the most metal gnarliest thing and one of the most gnarliest.
Yeah, that
things
is
in
it is
movies.
a cool visual.
Yes, Ethan, the fight.
So it's Turner and Big Bad
Yeah.
zombie. They start
One-on-one.
This guy has a robot arm, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He is as metal as you can possibly
Yeah.
get.
I believe his weapon of choice is like this like rotating
Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Blade hand.
He took all the safeties off of a salad shooter and then
Yeah.
just
Yes.
stuck him to his arm.
Yeah, his arm becomes like a spinning thing.
Yeah.
So they're like fending off each other's blows, and then as zombie goes in for a swing, Turner like redirects it to where he's actually like cutting himself up with his rotating arm, and then just cuts zombie's head off.
Well, it goes right into his
Yeah.
upper chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She punches him in the face, and more green blood than the blood spilled by Evil Uno
Yes.
and John Moxley combined from AEW Dynamite tonight. We're dating the episode, people.
Yes.
We get over it. He just comes out of his body and he just finishes him off. I need to point this out. She is beaten. Like, she's
yeah.
disarmed because in addition to salad shooter, he also has a little contraption that like disarms her sword, and then he like cuts her twice, and she's bleeding everywhere. It's like, oh, he's about to kill her, and then like you thought he was dead. No, pterodactyl bird bites the fuck out of this dude's
Breaks his leg.
breaks
off
his fucking
with his
leg.
beak.
Yeah.
And then he like slashes the fucking bird with the fucking salad shooter arm. It's like, God damn, it's like he's gonna kill it. It's like, nope. You've hurt my bird one too many times. It's fucking done. And she just murders the shit out of him.
Yeah, she takes the saddle off the pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Yep.
And takes the saddle off, gets on pterodactyl, and they start flying towards the Lochnar.
Yeah. And the first time inside of a sketch, the Lochnar is actually going, Tarna, don't sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
It will never work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, even though the Lochnar is telling this story, it's also affecting the Lochnar in the time that
It's the never-ending story of heavy metal.
Yeah.
Sure.
His power is across all times, off all planes of existence.
It's, whatever you got to tell to make this shit make sense.
So what?
That was
so
the
what
wrong
is-
response, Brady. The response was, shut up.
What does Tarna do, Ethan?
So Tarna flies over the Lochnar and unleashes the power of the sword and just
She turns into a lightning bolt.
Yes.
Yeah.
She turns into a lightning bolt.
Literally bringing about the Valkyrie myth, by the way,
Jesus
also.
Christ.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the inside of the house where the Lochnar is starting to crack open and go,
Yeah.
oh, I should have told that story.
Oh shit! Apparently, telling that story like fucked me up.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So the Lochnar is about to explode and implode at the same time. The
Yes.
girl runs out of the house. Everything just explodes.
Yeah, the house explodes.
The
somehow-
model explodes.
Yeah.
And the girl lives.
The girl lives. The girl lives, and then
she's looking at the once a house, once a home, now nothing. She turns to her right, a purple pterodactyl is sitting there.
Yeah. But you get the also there's an ongoing score when Tarna is in the scene throughout that segment, and that score starts. It gives you a little bit of emotional weight there. That score hits right when she looks over.
don't bring like cinema techniques into this shit.
But they use some.
It's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about
congratulations, you
rotoscoping
made it
and the
through
lack
all of
thereof.
these aggressive storytelling thing. You get a pterodactyl,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, you find out she's a Tarakian.
She's been a Tarakian this whole
she
time.
like pterodactyl.
Climbs on the thing and flies off, and then shakes her hair, and it becomes white.
Oh my God, this is the second movie in a row where we've had neck tattoos hidden by hair.
Yeah, this is true.
What the fuck?
And Ethan's response to finding out this thing made everything worth it.
Yes.
Because he was
All
like,
he did was yell, "What?" That's
he went,
it.
what?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
No, it wasn't like you said, wait, what? No, you like full-throated, sharp every consonant. What?
What?
And that's the experience almost no matter what, I would assume, age group or whatever. The first time I saw this movie, I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
But I love it.
I want to talk a little about the cinematic use of rotoscoping.
Yes.
Rotoscoping was actually used in the opening scene. With everything about it was modeled, but every frame was then an animator took a storyboard and basically redrew the frame so it has this animated look, but it's a real movement.
Yeah.
Tarna's movements, a lot, most of that was rotoscoped.
The
You have all
fighting
these things.
especially.
At the very end, the house is supposed to be rotoscoped when it blows up.
They ran out of
They
money.
ran out of money.
Yeah.
So they just blew up the model house. So if you were wondering why a fucking dollhouse explodes at the end of Heavy Metal, it's because of cash.
Yeah.
And the lack thereof.
Rotoscoping, the art of filming an actual actor and then tracing over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
The best use of it was in Transformers. The original
The original Transformers, and Fire and Ice also.
Fire and Ice was very good of it as well. So, Ethan, we subjected you to this council of three, those that had seen it before. What did you think of Heavy Metal?
We'd like to thank our friends. We'd like to thank our friends at our other podcastees. I'm just going to go into it. Whiskey and Wrestling. I opened up with them. Jason Holder and Michael Hill. They talk about whiskey, WWE, AEW, pay-per-views, premium live events. Give them a listen to. Again, Whiskey and Wrestling.
Silence your cell phones. Kevin Sheldon and Jared Hubbard aka the #1 White Shorts player in the world. Go and review movies and television
Internationally
shows.
ranked.
Internationally ranked #1. Anybody says he isn't, I will fight you. unless you're George St. Pierre, then I don't want none of that. Oh, what if George St. Pierre did White Shorts? That would be sweet. You could be like, you could.
He would
beat
not
him.
be impressed with your performance.
I mean, not your performance. I was Batroc the Liper anyway. But yes, if you want the quality and legitimately quality reviews of what you should and shouldn't be watching, check out Silence Your Cell Phones. YouTube show, I believe, every Wednesday. They actually record, I think, while we record. And then, of course, on all major podcasting avenues, that is Silence Your Cell Phones.
So we're really just continue with this. Okay, cool. Fearology. It's a podcast that our good friend and co-host Jody Kite does, where he talks about horror movies and other weird shit that he's doing. So check that out. Wherever he does the podcast stuff, he has his own
different kind of saga.
It's a different.
Take out
saga.
Apple and replace it with Amazon.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
We'd also like to give a shout out to
Is Jody just not going to allow to do anything? What the fuck?
Kevin Gallo, aka Ronan Rooster.
yeah.
He streams weekly on YouTube. Is it Twitch?
It's,
Twitch.
with the VODs on YouTube shortly.
Yeah, with Twitch. They're are they still doing their weekly Cyberpunk game?
They are. Life conspired to not have it do it for them. However, it was because one of them was bringing home, I believe, his second child.
Congratulations
for the first time.
Congratulations.
So,
Yeah, and they still do the unofficial Pokemon RPG as well.
Roll, the unofficial Pokemon.
Yeah,
So.
check them out. It's pretty good stuff.
Also, big shout out to newcomers in the podcasting world, Chris Vega and all the guys at Team Metamorph with the completed podcast. I believe they're going to be 3 episodes deep now. Everything has first 2. I've only seen the first 2, so
I've listened to the first 2 as well,
and they've been doing a great job.
Yeah,
So if you
I
like
like
Magic the Gathering and war stories and travel stories from the realm of Magic,
those
the Gathering,
travel stories,
by all means, check them out on all the podcasting networks they're on. Chris, hit me up with what ones you're on. We'll make sure we get mentioned on there.
And we'd also like to thank Greg Spanier and Cameron Spanier.
Nope.
Cameron only.
Cameron,
Okay,
the
my
only
apologies.
owner Spanier.
Cameron Spanier, the sole owner of
Yes.
Metro Gaming
Yes,
in Goshen,
indeed.
Mississippi.
Yes.
If you want board games, if you want tabletop RPGs,
If you need sleeves right now, they
Yeah.
have every size of sleeve you could possibly imagine.
Yes, like do you need
Do you
need them
like
for?
a 200 millimeter?
They have it.
sleeve?
Do you have small board games that could be sleeved wholly?
Yes.
They've got it for you
How
now.
about large board games? Maybe even the whole board for
Yeah.
your
Do you
board
want
games.
a board sleeve?
Yeah.
do you have
They
average
might
board
have
games that need sleeves?
They might have a size of sleeve that fits it.
They have
I picked
a
up some
lot.
today.
Check out Mechnub Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi, y'all.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ethan, you did a very good job this week.
I'm not subjecting anyone to my thoughts.
And I think that wraps up this episode. Next week, we shall be reviewing the second part in the Amber series from Roger Zelazny, The Guns of Avalon.
It was our second episode. Was our review of the first one. So now we're
9
finally getting
Princes
back
of
to
Amber.
If we make it 5 years, we'll get the entire cycle of his books.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can't wait to dive on into that.
So we are now in the station. I'm ready to get off this bus. My name's Ethan Skinner.
My name's James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody Kite. Read more books, watch more movies, be more nerd.
As always, guys, thank you for enjoying the ride. See you.